Okay, super. Welcome back. All right, so let's grow. So at this point, we've taken care of all of our foundation of introductions as well as why you are here, what you can expect to learn, what you will be walking away with, and let's get into the content of today's training. All right, so as I shared at the onset, there are 10 keys to your teaching your own virtual classes. So the very first key begins with your thoughts. You need to clarify your topic. What do you want to teach as a virtual class? What will you be teaching? Now, to go any further with that, to go a little further, what are the skills that you presently have that you wish to monetize by teaching others? So, in other words, what are some of the skills that you have that other people would be willing to pay you in order for you to teach them what it is that you know? What is the knowledge you have? What are the skills that you have that are valuable that other people want to learn how to do? So, you need to identify your talents, your skills, and your passions. You are literally going to brainstorm this out. I just want you to take a few moments, get some paper, and write out everything, everything that you already know how to do. These are things for you that perhaps seem so simple or that you do so easily, intuitively, organically that you might even wonder, well, nobody would pay me for that. Sure, they would pay you. The thing is that because you do it so easily and so masterfully, sometimes we will not appreciate the value of it because it comes easily to you. But because it comes easily to you, it is time to just stop giving it away. You get to make the choice of when you are going to share information, what information you will share with others, and then what information people will need to invest in order to receive that information, knowledge, experience, support, or service that you have to offer people. So I want you to maybe consider this might be the ending point. You might need to decide what is information again that you will give away and what is information that people need to invest in. Identify your expertise. What would you consider yourself to be an authority about? When people think of you, when people ask about you and what it is that you do, what comes up most often? What will people be saying? Those are indications of your expertise if it's not apparently clear to you right now already. And then the third thing to factor into your teaching of your workshop is what do you want to be sought after for? In other words, what do you want people to begin thinking of you as the first person to go to in order to get support, training, service, guidance, a better understanding around a particular topic? So, though you could have many skills and many passions, you may be a super baker, you may be super good at, working with a certain type of population. You may have, and I'm saying baker, like, maybe baking is a hobby of yours. Maybe you have an interest in a particular subject matter and you read tons of books on a certain subject. You have, of course, you have many talent, skills, and passions. But after you have done the big brainstorm, I want you to begin to refine that list and think about, okay, of the things that I do well, of the things that I know about, of the things that I'm super smart about, what are you an expert at? And not only what are you an expert at, or what would your peers, what would the community of people who know you, what would they be in agreement that for sure you're certainly an expert about that because you have cultivated a track record and a reputation of providing excellent service, and showing up consistently in that area. And then the third piece is when you break it down to that point in terms of your expertise, what do you want to be sought after? So not what do you think you should be teaching necessarily, but considering that this class is really going to open up your own virtual class is going to open up an arena of possibility for you as a global visionary. Okay, what do you want to do? What would you want to invest considerate amounts of your time, considerable amounts of your time, energy, resources in developing a platform around? So, in your workbook, after you have brainstormed, I want you to complete this page. My name is, and the things that I do most easily and effortlessly are these things. I consider myself a master or an authority at. And so you are clarifying your topic. Now, in your brainstorming of your topic, it's very likely that you will have identified several topics that you can teach for your virtual class. I want you to go ahead and identify anything that comes up for you and save those ideas. Okay, save them. One class is not your limit by any means. One class is your beginning. So save all of those quality ideas that you have there, and then look at your list and identify what would be your first class that seems like the first thing that you would want to step into. So if your subject matter is progressive, okay, if it's something that people may need to learn in a central sequential order, or if there is an introductory topic, an intermediate topic, and an advanced topic, break down your topic into those categories. So, what would be the first thing if someone were to enter into your world? Okay, if someone were to come into your world of online training, what would be the first thing that they would need to learn from you so they would have enough information to have increased their knowledge, to have grown, to have developed themselves, but then there is still a next step so that they can continue with you. All right. After you have clarified your topic, the next thing you need to do is to clarify your client. Who is this person that will be taking your class? Who are they? Who is this person that would be interested in what it is that you have to offer? So, your client is that person who's going to make that investment in your offering. So, what you should do is create a client avatar. A client avatar is essentially like a fictitious profile of your ideal client based upon those character traits of a type of person, okay? A type of person. You can really imagine one person. More than likely, you already have an ideal client, okay? If you're taking this class, that would be an indication. Think about the person who you are presently serving that most aligns with the type of person who is interested in what you do, who financially invest in what you do, who you would consider a raving fan, and who you enjoy and who you love serving. When you have identified that person, they become the prototype, if you will, for your client avatar. You're going to break down that person, okay, into traits, into details of their demographics, of their psychographics, so that you create a profile of that person. Examine your circle of influence. So you have your avatar, and then you look at your circle of influence and say, okay, where are these people? Where are they hanging out? Who are people that I already know that are most like this person? Or what groups, associations, organizations, Facebook pages, what professional associations am I connected with where I can meet more people of this type? More than likely, they are already within your network. You identify those places to reach those people, and you want to be very strategic and intentional about cultivating relationships there. So, create your ideal client avatar, create that profile now. These are some of the traits to begin, and others will likely come to mind as you are working it out of who your ideal client is. My ideal client, for example, my ideal client is an African American woman between the ages of 35 and 45. I would even say between the ages of 35 and 55 years old, who is an experienced professional in arts, culture, creativity, healing, who has a spiritual life practice, not necessarily religious, but who has a spiritual life, considers herself very spiritual, and is influential in her community doing work of changing the world. Okay, that is a little bit of my client avatar. So you want to be as clear about who you are serving so that when it's time for you to share your class and to share your offerings with other people, you don't serve everyone. Now, anyone who chooses, if you, of course, are in agreement, has the opportunity to purchase your class, right? But you want to be intentional and strategic about how you are promoting and marketing so that those resources of time, money, energy that you invest in reaching your client can be as targeted as possible. Okay. So the third key to teaching your class is you want to clarify your objectives. Objectives are so key, so necessary because, again, going back to as I was sharing about your topic, you cannot teach everything in one class. You don't want to teach everything in one class. The reasons you don't want to teach everything in one class is one, you want your student to have success, okay? You want to create and craft your class in such a way so that your student is learning and so that they also are growing. And so if you cram, place, put too much content into one class, it can easily become overwhelming. So it's important that you take your topic and you distill it down into the things that your student will learn. Okay? And then how will they benefit? Those are the things that they are going to walk away with. That's for the benefit of you as a teacher so that you know that you are meeting your objective. You design the class with your objectives in mind. So that is at the top of your thinking. What do I want my student to learn? What do I want them to walk away with? You start with the end in mind and then you work backwards and you build a class. You design a class that will fulfill those objectives. Additionally, you also want to be clear about your objectives and not creating a class that has too much content because you want your students to return to you. So when they have progressed and they've made it to a certain point of success and they need more knowledge, they need more training, they need more service, they need more support from you, there is an opportunity for them to repeat business with you. Okay, so you have returning clients who you grow relationships with. Now, in identifying your objectives for your class, these are your points of thinking and planning. What is the main concept, the number one concept that your class covers? In this training, the number one concept that you are learning is how to teach your own virtual classes, right? Very simple, easy to explain, easy to understand. You know exactly what it is that you're learning in this training. And then what is the number one outcome of this class? The number one outcome of this training is that you will walk away with a blueprint, having created a blueprint for your own class. So that outcome is an important selling point essentially because people want to, some people want information just for information's sake, right? They want to be more knowledgeable and that has value. But in the arena of teaching virtual classes and presenting yourself as an expert, as an authority, it is helpful for you to go ahead and take away the guesswork so people are not wondering, well, I don't know if I really need that. I don't really know if it's that important or that's valuable. When you tell them what they're going to get out of the class, they can then make a very clear decision based upon your outcome as to whether or not that is the ideal or the right thing for them. And then, last but not least, identify the problem that you are solving. So, it very well may exist that within the marketplace of other virtual classes, people can take virtual classes, they can take seminars, they can take workshops, mentorships, apprenticeships, home study, they can even read their own books, right? There are lots of ways for people to learn, but what's the problem that you are going to be solving through your particular class? So in this experience, in this scenario, the problem that I'm solving is I am solving the problem of having you I'm solving the problem of your having to figure out and having to learn on your own how to teach virtual classes, what technology it is that you will need to teach virtual classes, and then even how to profit. So those are problems that people would encounter. But if you know that in taking my course, you're going to have those things solved because this class addresses it, it makes it an easier yes. So you need to get into the mind of your client. What are their challenges? What are their problems? What are their pain points? Why are they concerned about this particular topic? Okay. And the better that you can address those key concerns and your course becomes the solution, your objectives, building your course becomes more attractive. So these are your sentence starters, okay? I want you to think again, go back to your topic. You've identified your one topic to begin. I know you have several. What is your first class, your introductory level class that you are teaching? Number two, who is this class for? Who is the person, the ideal person who would take this class? Where would you meet them? How can you find them? Where are they hanging out? Where is their network? Okay. And then number three, what are they going to learn in your class and what are they going to walk away with? So these are your sentence starters. As a result of completing my class, my client will no longer, my client will be able to, and my client will have. When you answer these questions clearly, concisely, your objectives will be defined. Fantastic. All right. Key number 4, clarify your format for your class. So format are all of the ways that you can deliver a class in order to teach your content, to teach your topic. What is the best way for you to structure your class? And what is the best way for you to teach your topic? So you're going to identify your ideal class style. So with your style of class, all right, not how classy you are, but the style of your virtual class. What is ideal for you in order for you to convey the knowledge that you have, or in order for you to meet your objectives of teaching your ideal client? What is the best way for you to teach your information? So, for example, does it mean that you should be teaching an intensive? This webinar is a webinar training intensive, so to speak. An intensive in the sense of it's one day of training, much information in 3 hours, okay? So it's an intensive. On the other hand, I could also teach the same topic in a different way. I could still address the topic of how to teach. This is learn to teach your own virtual classes, right? Learn to teach your own virtual classes. But if I wanted to expand and support you through the steps of teaching your own virtual classes, I might do an extended 4 or 5 week class, okay, on how to do it. And the how means the work that you're doing in your workbook. Every week we show up and we address one of the steps. Every week we show up and we address one of the keys. And then there's time for Q&A, there's time for sharing, there's time for reflection. I would pull up some of the classes that I have taught myself, or that some of my clients have taught their clients, and I would give you examples. So you see this, you see what I'm saying? Those are two different scenarios of how to teach: an intensive versus something that would take a longer path, that would be more of a long-term course, a multi-week course. Then identify your teacher student ratio. Depending on your topic, you may be able to teach hundreds of people. Okay, if you're able to fill your virtual class with 100 people, why not? That very well could happen. Okay, with a webinar, perhaps with an intensive and introductory level class. But if you have something that requires a lot more teacher student engagement, where you want to be able to touch, not necessarily physically touch, but to encounter, have conversations with, answer questions with your students, you may not want to have a class that has just that many people. So, what is the ideal number of people that you can serve? Make sure that they are learning, make sure that they are getting the information in the way that you present it, as you choose, in such a way that they will succeed. In all ways, you want to make sure that your client on the other end of your training and course comes out a winner. So the teacher student ratio is a very important consideration. And again, to reiterate, what is the ideal length and duration of your class, your topic, your introductory level topic? Can it be taught in one session? Do you need more than one class? Okay, does it need to be 3 classes, 5 classes? 6 classes, 7 classes, and then also consider your ideal client. How long can you really hold their attention? Like, seriously, do not plan a class that's going to last for 24 weeks for busy moms. That's like not even congruent. A busy mom, if she wants to take a particular class on whatever the topic is, I would think for, working mothers, busy mothers, women who have very full lives, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks might be your cap, okay? But typically, after 6 weeks, 8 weeks, depending on the topic, that becomes way too long in order to hold someone's attention. It has been my experience that after you pass the 6 to 8 week mark, people will begin to drop out of the class just because life simply happens. And then again, because this is your introductory level class, your first class for your students who are they are entering into your world, give them a short, brief offering, okay? Something short, something sweet, so that they can get a taste of you and your teaching style. They can get a taste of what it is to be a member of your learning community, so that they can have some success under their belt before you offer the next course, which would be the intermediate course, which could be longer and, of course, could even be more expensive. So in your workbook, when you get to clarifying your format, these are the considerations. And this is going to go into even more detail, okay? So clarifying your format, consider, are you doing a one-day training? Like I said, that's the intensive. That can be a webinar format, for example, like with video. Or are you doing a multi-week course? In either case, it's okay. I would say for introductory level multi-week course, something that would be about 4 weeks would be a nice sweet spot if you wanted to do multi-week. Then, are you doing something where you literally have a virtual class or training for one person at a time? one person at a time. Now, if it's a one-on-one scenario, that means that a you're working with a content, you're working with a topic that really would demand and require the exclusive attention of your student because the information may be very personalized, very customized, and very private in nature. Okay, so in a private one on one versus a group training, private one-on-one versus a group training, okay? The group means the information becomes more general. It's not specific to one person. You can discuss topics that pertain to many people, absolutely, right? The private one-on-one, anything here on this side of the format would become more expensive. This class becomes a more expensive class because it's one person who has your undivided attention. That's a lot of value that you're giving one person, even if it's a 1 day training with one person, a 1 day, multi hour, 3 to 5 hour intensive, perhaps to help your student, your client brainstorm, strategize, get clear about, create a plan, receive some mentorship or some training on a particular topic. This is very high level teaching, okay? This is a very elite teaching format. Over here, 1 day training with a group. If you are teaching a group of people in a 1 day scenario, which would be like a 3 hour training, this is more of your introductory course. This is for people who are stepping into your world. They want to learn a topic. They may have enough to run with. And for some people, they may need more afterwards, but they get to experience you, they get to have success, and they have gained, they have benefited. Okay? Now let's look at this scenario. You have a group in a multi-week course, right? This becomes more of your intermediate format right here. This could even be your advanced class as well. Several people, you determine the right number of people studying with you for 4 weeks. Anything after 4 weeks becomes not so much intermediate, that goes more into advanced. The other benefit of offering group classes is that when you do a group class, you are able to bring down, sometimes you can mitigate your price point, right? So when someone's learning with you one-on-one, then they should expect, or you should set it up that people will expect to pay more to have the benefit, to have the benefit of your undivided attention teaching them. So for people where it's difficult or it's a challenge for them to make that investment, your group programs gives you the opportunity to increase and maximize your earning because you have more people enrolled in the class. But at the same time, for your clients and for your students, they benefit because they do not have as significant of a personal investment. Okay? And then this scenario here, the private one on one, multi week, this can look like private mentoring over the course of many weeks. Private mentoring. So here, somebody wanted to have a one-time consultation with you to get clear about one topic, maybe two topics, brainstorm, strategize, gain training, mentorship, typically one or two topics. Here, on this side of the spectrum, one-on-one for multi-week, I hope you see my cursor going back and forth. In this scenario right here, this is where the person receives longer term support, coaching, guidance, mentorship. So we really, y'all, I want you to appreciate this. We have stepped, I've given you a glimpse I've given you a glimpse into your wonderful, powerful future as a virtual teacher. So, a class can take a few different formats. Okay, so you might want to go back and look at those other topics that you brainstormed and see which of your other topics after your introductory topic would be better suited for another of these formats. And are you beginning to get a glimpse of how you can grow your influence, you can grow your impact, and of course, you can grow your income? You are creating essentially your own institute, your own curriculum, your own private academy. So, super excited for you, super excited for you. And of course, I'm here to help you work through all of the strategies related to that. So, here are a few golden, absolutely golden tips that I want you to know so that you can be on the winning side of this experience. Anytime you are teaching your classes, make sure that they are recorded. Record your classes, whether you are teaching an audio class, meaning MP3 downloads, people listen, okay? It's all audio, or you are teaching a phone class. We'll talk about the technology later that you get on. People join you on a conference line. You teach. It's all audio. Make sure that you record it, or if it's video, like this format as well. And even if you're teaching a live class, there's a whole nother training for that. But if you are teaching live, you want to make sure you record your classes. Why do you want to record your classes? Because when you record your classes, you can add more value to your class. You're able to tell the people, the students, your clients who enroll, that you will offer the recording as a bonus. Like, who doesn't want to receive the recording? Because then your student wins, right? Because they have the opportunity to continue learning and working with that information and content. There are even variations on how you offer the recordings and the replays, but we'll leave it at that for today. The other thing about offering the recording as well is it helps to mitigate all of the scenarios of people who say, well, I want to be there, but I can't because, life happens, right? Because I'm working, my child has practice on that day. I'll be out of town, I'll be at a conference, whatever. If for some reason your student cannot attend the actual day of the class, you're offering the recording is your default positive, honest response of how they can still enroll in this training and benefit. And then last but not least, when you have recordings, you have the opportunity to repurpose and resell your content. You are a content creator at this point when you are producing these courses, okay? Repurposing it can look like, how do you take your class and then you can even create a transcript of your class, and then you have a publication that you can use for a multitude of purposes. And publishing a book is just one scenario of how you can repurpose your content in a publishing print format. One scenario is a book. But of course, we know there are ebooks, there are guides, there are pamphlets, brochures. There are lots of strategies around that. Additionally, you also can resell your recording. So, in the case of this training that you are enjoying, whether participating live or whether you're listening to the replay, there I also will be selling the recording of this training. It's a package home study training for people who want this knowledge and who want to learn about this topic. So those are golden tips that will make you successful and continue to extend the life of your training and extend your ability to generate passive income. Love that, passive income. So, as you clarify your format, answer these questions for yourself to get clear. Going back to your topic as well as your objectives, what it is that you need your student to learn, your main topic, your number one main topic, as well as the outcome. What is the length of your class? How much time do you need with your student so that they can learn what they need to learn? And then what media is most relevant? Is this a topic that you can do by phone? Is phone enough? Okay, or is it visual? Do you actually need to have video engagement with your students so that they can see handouts and so that they can see materials, so they can see workbooks, so that they can see slides, images, etc. And then what is the target number of students in your class? And so I want to say this just as another important point is if you find it difficult for you to fill a group program. If you find it a challenge to fill a group program, well then consider placing yourself on the equation of teaching your students one-on-one. Okay, so make those adjustments necessary in your pricing. Be considerate of, perhaps you need to price accordingly so that you can get that person to say yes and you generate the income, but also consider the value of your time. I think we've covered that pretty generously, so let's move on to key 5. So the 5th key is to clarify your pricing when it comes to your virtual classes. What are you going to charge? We're leading to this, right? Aren't you excited? What are you going to charge for your class? And how will you motivate your students, your ideal clients, to invest in themselves? So you need to look at the value of your course, all right? The value of your course is not always the price, right? It's not always the price that you charge for your course, but what is the actual value? And value can be based upon the market. What are other people charging for similar courses? Or what would the value mean in terms of once you have this information, right? How will your life change? How will your life be enhanced? So if you're teaching an introductory level course, and at the end of this course, I'll use my own as an example. At the end of this course, then you will be able to have a blueprint to teach your own classes. Well, that means very easily, in the most simplest of scenarios, if you were to teach your own class with 5 people, right, an introductory level class, and you enroll 100 people, 5 people in your course who paid $100 for your course, well, then the value of this class is at least $500, if not more than that, just considering that you can continue to repurpose and resell the class. So easily the value of this course for you in a long-term kind of vision, and considering what the length of the course is, it easily could be valued at $500 to $1,000, right? That would be your return on investment. So the value of your course, people need to know that they're not just getting what they pay for. It's not just the sticker price. It's not just the rate or the fee of tuition and enrollment, but the value is more rounded out than that. And the better you can articulate that to your client, the more helpful that will be in your positioning yourself and positioning your course as something not to be missed. Then you also want to provide incentives for people to buy. Now, we certainly live in a time in which people have multiple things that are competing for their attention, right? Media, Facebook, family, work, life, politics, you name it. There are so many things that are competing with your course for people's attention. So you want to give your clients incentives to make a clear, firm, and quick, okay, thoughtful. You don't want to rush. I don't believe in rushing and doing high pressure sales tactics. So there are people that do that. But you do want to incentivize your clients from making a clear and decisive choice to invest in your course. And then you can add value with bonuses as well. So, with the value of your course, I explained that that is not just the sticker price, but what is the longer term return on investment and beyond that people can expect to gain by making the purchase of your class. What are the incentives that you can offer for people to buy now? So, a very easy, and I'm saying easy in the sense of it does not require you to create anything, but an easy for you. Again, this class is about doing things with ease as well. Incentive that you can offer is when people invest in your course, when these clients make the choice, you might offer a consultation with you, anywhere from 20 minutes to really 30 minutes is a sweet spot. A 30-minute complimentary consultation with you. That consultation is super helpful for a couple of reasons. One, the client is typically going to be more encouraged to want to invest in the course because then they know that they get some one-on-one time. If you know that your one-on-one time, we've already discussed that, it's very, very, very valuable. So they have that benefit of the one-on-one. Secondly, it's an opportunity for you to do a little bit of focus research or a little bit of target market research with your client base because you're having one-on-one direct conversations with people interested and invested in your course. So as you ask them and as you guide them through the consultation would be aligned with your course topic, right? Then you get a sense of what's going on in the thoughts, the considerations, the concerns, what are the problems that your clients are having. And then you better understand how you can design this course or even another offering that is responsive to your clients. Okay, so it's a double service. It's serving the client, but it's also serving you when you're asking the right questions and you're listening with the right ears um, to know how this information can help you. And then bonuses. Okay, people love bonuses. Don't you love a bonus? People love to receive something that is a gift, something special, something extra. And so the bonuses that you can add can be bonuses that either are something in your personal services or in a product that you have. You might partner with another business owner who can offer a bonus, something that is going to add value and complement your course. So listen, every incentive and every bonus does not have to be financial. It can be. It can be an incentive like early bird pricing, right? If you register before this date, you'll get the best price. If you register before this date, you will gain a consultation with me. Okay, but also can work with bonus. If you register before this date, you gain this bonus, right? But don't think that you have to slash your prices. You have to slash your prices. Um, I think that's very clear. If not, as always, reach out to me. So, a little bit more to clarify your pricing. The information highway is a particular framework for understanding pricing of courses in the online teaching marketplace that I love. I did not invent this. There is another wonderful, mega successful business coach, Lisa Sasevich. I give her all due credit for this is her particular framework, and I'm going to share it with you. But the information highway is like this, all right? So where you can draw this actually on your paper, but if you can imagine a road, this is the highway of information, right? And this is your client, okay? And this is you. You're up here. Your client is here, and you're all the way at the end of the road, okay? The closer your client gets to you, the more access your client has to you, the more individual attention your client gets from you, the more valuable the investment, the greater the investment your client will make. So, again, here, the more access your client gets to you, the more personalized and customized the information is. That's like the one on one scenario. It's about brainstorming, strategizing, assisting, mentoring your client for their needs, their circumstances, their interests. Even the more advanced information you share, the greater the investment. This is your multiple week group course. This is your signature program, the thing that you are known for, that people are knocking on your door because only they can get it from you. And then this is your private one-on-one training. So $397 and upwards. This is a very introductory level view of pricing. There are there are levels to this, okay? There are levels to this that I will be pleased to teach you. But at this point in this training, I will share that for your multiple group courses, your signature program, and one-on-one, your pricing would be $397, and for something that's in the private one-on-one realm, far above $397, far above. Now, over here, less access to you. This is introductory information shared and an introductory investment because, again, remember, you want to bring people into your world. You want to make it easy for people to say yes to themselves, to say yes to investing with you. Because, again, people do business with those who they know, like, and trust. Know, like, and trust. And so if you are moving through the challenge or you're wanting to mitigate the challenge of people not necessarily knowing you, liking you, and again, you have not established trust just yet, your pricing needs to be at a place where people can feel like they're taking a safe and comfortable minimal risk of their financial dollars. So that $97 or less, but I think $97 is very fair considering the time that you will have invested to create this class. It's an easy price point for people to say yes. All right. So this is your 1 to 3 hour webinar. And then also it can look like an audio training where there's no video, but you're getting on the phone and you're teaching people ear to ear. They dial in and you are supporting them. Okay. So this is what you will answer in your workbook, excuse me, to clarify your pricing. The price of my class is the price of my class. The actual value of my class is this. And then I can make my class more attractive. What can you do to help people say yes to taking your class? What incentives can you offer? What bonuses might you include? As well as what can you do with your pricing so that making your class attractive is apparent? Then take into mind your industry, all right? Take into mind what other people may be charging, and then also where you are in the industry as well. Like you may have to take into mind some geographic considerations, right? But just because you are the new person does not necessarily mean that you need to offer Walmart bargain prices. Your pricing also, and this is more advanced teaching, but your pricing also is shaped by your personal brand. So how are you setting up your brand, your platform, your personal brand, your business brand? What kind of, I'm looking for the right word, what kind of brand presence, brand reputation, brand energy are you seeking to express? And so that does not necessarily mean you have to be an inexpensive, cheap, bargain basement brand. You are a visionary. You are a you can definitely well position yourself as a thought leader and cultivate and carve out that place in the market if you choose, okay? But you have been doing work as a transformational agent of change in your arena for more than a little time. If you're taking this workshop, I believe that this is you. So, in consideration of that, that is also value that you bring. It's intangible value, right? It's very difficult to put a dollar on it, but for people to be able to study with you because of your paying your dues, right? Your time in the field, your time, your all that you have invested and proliferated, that has value. That's how you justify your pricing. That's exactly how you can justify your pricing. So at this point, when you get ready to continue with your workbook, I want you to look at this. My estimated income for my class, your introductory level class, what are the target number of clients that you expect to have? What is the tuition? And that would bring about your income. Okay, so even with your target number of clients, just consider that your target number and the number of people who enroll, there may be some discrepancy. There may be a little bit of gap there, but I fully hope that you're successful in filling your class. But if for some reason you don't hit that target number of clients, be not discouraged. Be not discouraged. This is a marathon. It is not a sprint. This process of building this virtual class possibility, is particularly if you want to round it out with multiple classes, right? But just consider the first time you offer your class, you've done very well because you've done something that is uncommon. Okay, uncommon among many visionaries, right? Many visionaries are mostly teaching person to person, right? But you are creating legacy. You're creating influence, impact, and income in your ability to essentially publish your knowledge and publish your content. So the number of clients times tuition is income. And again, to underscore what I'm saying, if you don't reach that target number of people the first time, that's okay. You can always re-offer the class another time. The cost of producing your class are your expenses. So some of these costs probably are going to be, I'm going to say, negligible because these are things that are already part of your lifestyle. So like your internet, your phone charges, these are things that you're paying for anyways. But if you need some support around things like designing your presentations, designing your flyers, designing your promotional materials, those would be some investments of expenses to develop your course that are very, very worthwhile. Also, investing in a mentor, a coach, myself, if you need additional support around creating your course, that would be an expense that you might also factor into the long-term cost of producing your class. So, of course, very simple mathematics, very simple economics. Income minus expenses equals profits. So, this is your investment in you. This is your investment in your capacity to reach more people, teach more people, share your message, change the world, build your income, and also build longer term passive income streams for yourself. So that is where we are with this first half of our training. Congratulations to you. You are doing, again, the uncommon thing. You are learning how to flourish in your calling, and I celebrate you. I'm so very excited for you. So we are going to pause. We're going to take a minute. We're going to pause for the cause. During this time, we will have our break. I would like to ask you to return in 5 minutes from the break. We will continue with our power networking working at that moment. And then we will continue with the last half, the final portion of our training. Thank you.